c'est a good team.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Chart Talk, coming at you Tuesday because we didn't get it done Monday. Bennett, how we doing over there?
I'm doing good. Ready to knock this out.
Ready to knock this out. We got the S&P just a stone's throw away from all-time highs. You know, we got 6 of 8 green days. Market's looking pretty hot right now. You know, as far as market outlook goes, you know, we're kind of long and strong right now. There's a lot of headline risk. My foot is definitely not on the gas right now, like fully, because of the headline risk and, you know, the election in a few weeks. We're definitely going to see a lot of volatility into this election. I would be very surprised to see us either just grind up, you know, and continue this grind up that we've seen into the election. I just really, really would be surprised at that. I think we'll have some volatility either later this week, maybe next. I don't know when, but it's going to come before the election. Always does. What are your thoughts, Bennett?
Yeah, no, same thing. I think the main thing that I was highlighting in the big picture was just, you know, hold to the retest. Like, you know, we're a stone's throw from this, you know, retesting the highs in the SPY, same in NASDAQ. So the overall team, like you mentioned, moving up, you know, 70 days in a row. You know, let's look to hold to the retest, and then when we get up there, then look to maybe change our thought a little bit.
All right.
But same as you, yeah. Again, if you guys are still with us, drop us a little thumbs up. And Chick, if you like, we can jump into some of the member ideas.
Yeah. What we got?
All right, so first up we got Anna. She's in Baidu. He got in last week. Basically same prices as right now. He bought 127. His stop is below 125. And he's asking, should he keep it there or should he lower it to 120, which is a little bit more of like a significant out based off the chart.
The 120 is definitely a more significant level and area, but it's definitely a bad habit to make a game plan and then change it and add more risk. Mm-hmm. You know, most of the time you see someone trying to get too cute with their stop, make it tighter, and now he's trying to make it looser and add more risk to his trade. 120 is definitely the proper out. I would say that is the out, and that's where you should give it to. The one thing you got to worry about, earnings coming up October 28th, but I think that 120 is a lot better of a spot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And his next question was, he mentioned he's never been a big fan of hedging, the concept of it. And he's like asking, like, you know, when is there a point for someone to actually hedge a position? Like, should he be hedging, or is it for someone that's, you know, maybe above his skill set?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, hedging sounds so sexy for the most part, but, you know, the guys who really need to hedge are hedge funds where they have millions and millions and millions of dollars at risk. Like, even me, I rarely hedge. The only time you'll see like somewhere where I have 12, 15 longs right now, and they're just swings where I'm just kind of moving up stops. You know, if I saw an opportunity to maybe short the S&P or Qs, maybe I would do it, you know, as you know, that way I'm taking away some upside, but, you know, if that downside does come, then I'm more well equipped for it. But even so, I don't think it's something that's very, very necessary for traders of, you know, with our kind of account levels, really. That simple. Mm-hmm. If you don't have millions and millions in the market, I don't think you really need to hedge.
I'm with you on that. Next, we got Reed. He's got a question on Tesla. He recently bought it through 440, which was yesterday.
Okay.
His stop is verse 426, and his target is 510. So he wants to take it through the retest.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his game plan.
I don't mind that game plan at all. We got to see this. You know, this is the area. We were looking at this wedge over the weekend, this Tesla wedge. And it seems like, you know, every time Tesla's had a setup this year, it's just worked out so viciously to the upside. So now, technically, it's in that area where it wants to trigger. You know, it's looking at this last pivot high, this 448 area, and you just need to see that push soon. So I like how it's either, you know, he's playing for the momentum, so he's giving it a little bit of room on the daily, where, you know, he's giving it a chance to work out, but also, you know, he's not giving it, you know, 100 points where, you know, he could get really hurt to the downside. So it's kind of a now or never thing with Tesla. So, yeah, I don't mind that game plan at all.
Now, would you try to add, you know, lightly through these two, you know, doji highs, like through 450?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you see volume in a setup, but the only problem is it's just, I mean, the way the market just floated higher, it's so hard to add risk because the market looks so vulnerable for a pullback, and it just like just a retracement move, like a healthy retracement move. So like that'll just take all breakout setups down with it. So you just got to keep that in the back of your mind. There's a lot of factors to trading.
Yeah, and the one thing for him, like he mentioned, his target's 5'10", and it's basically going off 5-1 risk reward off his entry. But looking at the chart, with 502 being the prior high, it's more likely to get met with resistance there, and if it does break it, it's more likely to go much higher than 510. So with that, taking that into consideration, if it does get up near 500, he could look to take some off, and if it breaks through 500, I wouldn't necessarily be looking to sell it immediately at 510 just for 5-1, because this thing could go anywhere once it gets through those highs. Next up, we got Lisa. She's looking at BJ through 42.
Oh shit, that's sick. BJ looks sick.
Yeah, it actually does look really good.
This looks really, really, really nice. I like that a lot. Nothing to say but good things about this BJ.
Yeah, she got two more. She got this Nova through 30. It's another one she's looking at.
I definitely prefer the BJ over the Nova, but that Nova's looking good too.
And lastly was this Disney, but again, us this yesterday, she was looking at it through 125, and today we, had that positive news. So, hopefully she's in that one.
Disney Plus, they're going all in.
All right. So next up, we got Alex Smith. We'll go through a couple of his ideas. First one is this CSGP, and he was looking at this through 886. So basically, like right here.
Yeah, I just don't. The only thing is, I don't really see what makes. I see this last pivot high. I don't really see what makes that 886 very significant. And you can see the stock has just floated higher. So where do you want to stop? I feel like he's gonna have an incorrect stop. That's the
it's like 886 versus low a day.
Yeah, I mean it's just like what makes today special to break through it and rip through these highs when literally it's just grinded all of these past 2-3 weeks. So it's like what makes today's action different that you're going to see that and that this trade's going to work out on this one day. You want to have probability on your side. If you took that trade anytime in the last 2 weeks, you would have taken a loss. So I don't really like the stop location. I like the chart, strong name, strong group, but you got to work on the entry and game plan a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So next time we get this GPN through 185.
Yeah, I like this one. This is on the shakedown right here. This is just a macro setup. Very big picture trade here. This 185 area. Don't expect this one to be at 200, 220 in a week, but this one could trend higher for weeks and months at a time, especially coming at a base like this. So definitely keep an eye on this one.
Okay. Next we have this plan, PLAN through 60 through 65.
And a plan. Yeah, I mean, it's packaged software names. Why not? Keep it going. This one looks like it's ready to take on highs. So it looks pretty good. I would prefer more consolidation up here. And the entry is definitely through this like 60 area off support, but we'll see if it gives us another entry later to that 65.
All right. So again, we wrapped up some member ideas. We'll jump into some of the social media questions. First one is going to be this BNTX, and he's the person giving us looking to buy it through 92 versus 85.
Man, crazy ass name. It's just the rogue stop. That's it. I like the name, but again, like we were just talking about, like you look at it. Let's look at an hourly chart. What do they say? It's 85.
Yeah.
Like what makes this 85 significant? What if it comes down and takes 85? What about that trade are you being told you're wrong there? So the point of a stop is you want to be told you're wrong in the setup. And this one's gone so vertical. This one needs a pullback to 75, 80, and that's where you want to look for an entry. I don't think you could buy strength on this because you missed it. You just flat out missed it. Yeah. It's up. In 2 weeks it's gone from 65 to 92, and you want to give it an 85 stop. Just doesn't make sense.
I think also looking at this BNTX, perfect example about the retest where you can see it. That 105, you can see back in March runs it to 105, pulls back, and then in the end of July runs to 105 to the penny. 104.99, and again it pulls all the way back. So this is like
how happy was the guy who bought 105 this first time that it ticked 104.9? It ticked 104.99. That's amazing. Yeah. That guy was selling hard.
Yeah.
He went through some pain there. He lost 75% real quick.
So this is a perfect example of what we're seeing here with the market, where as we get back to that first retest, and even if you move the chart over and you just look at it going up to 105, it looks phenomenal. You think it's going to continue that trend higher, but it just gets met with sellers and completely reverse that course. So that's a relevant example. Next up, we got Twilio. This person looking to buy it through 176, which is really far from where versus 158. What is that? 168.
That's gotta be wrong.
Yeah, maybe they meant we're gonna just say they want to buy through 168 because 176. It just.
So what about 168 in Twilio?
Mm-hmm.
Twilio hasn't been 168 since fucking May.
I'm sorry. TTW.
Oh, take two.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That makes a little more sense here. All right. This is a good-looking chart. Tell them nice job. Yeah, I like this area. Give us a little inside day. Tight low consolidation. More of a breakout, off this low consolidation. But it looks pretty good.
All right,
Video gaming stock's pretty good.
Yeah, so low and shake were two other ones. Again, we'll go into those with good trade, bad trade. I'm in both of those. And then lastly was this Walmart. Again, no game plan. So.
I love this Walmart for the future. I love Walmart Plus. I love everything they're doing. I love how they're coming after Amazon, and they're doing really well with it. They're only big box retailer to do so. So I like the name. I'm definitely in it for the long term, but no game plan. That's really all I got for you.
Mm-hmm. All right, so with that, we'll jump into some of the good trade, bad trades. If you want, we can start with Tyler Kenny's trade in NET.
Fuck, he killed this net.
I know.
This was sick.
I think one of the best ones we've seen so far.
Yeah, I got it up. You could break it down for us.
Yeah, so for Tyler, again, we can see this little flag forming under 30. He bought 30 versus 28. He kicks him into that first pop. Again, somewhere in here. Again, he's been in this for a little bit of time, so it's hard to remember your exact sell. I think one of the great things he did was as it pulled back and put in that higher low, he added back to his position, versus that prior area that he was getting in. And now that it's really breaking out, this is where he's starting to kick some. And it's just this. It's like it's all around just a great trade, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and what this company did, they had crazy news. They released this crazy product that's going to be groundbreaking for the whole software industry. But this happens when you're in the strongest stocks. Okay, this isn't happening in Boeing anytime soon. This is going to happen in Cloudflare. It's one of the strongest stocks in the strongest sector, and you get lucky. This is when you get lucky, is when you're in the right names in the right sectors, and that's why we focus on this over anything else.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Next, we can jump into Heaven's trade. He has two of them. First one is FOUR.
Yeah, you got it. I'm in this still with him.
All right. So again, little support buyback up through 47. Stop versus 45. Kicks him in his strength. Kind of in that little retest area. You can see those couple of kicks. And now he has his full stop after recently gapped up, and he took some off up through 60. So again, he's holding his winners, kicking some, lightening the load. Shake your trade was probably very similar. But all around, great trade.
Yeah, actually, pretty identical to his trade. Big shouts to Chris. We weren't even looking at this. Chris came back, and this was his one setup for us. And it was a fucking massive setup.
There we go. And then lastly for Heaven, we got this Fastly.
Yeah, we got it up.
All right, so again, similar little, breakout buy up through, we buy it through 95 versus 88. Kick some into strength. Kick some and then trails winner. So same thing. He's buying the strongest names, the leaders in these sectors, lightening the load on the way up, and then increasing those stops. So Heaven's been crushing it lately.
Oh, Heaven's killing it.
Yeah. All right, Jake. So that's the member good trade, bad trade. Do you want to go over any of your trades?
Yeah, I don't really have a ton because we're just kind of sitting right now. So I'll kind of break down what I'm in. I guess the bad trade would be this Vroom VRM, where we're kind of buying this little mini base area, and it's a recent IPO. It's got a lot of upgrades, and I like this company a lot. I just know my friends have used the company. It's been like a resounding success. Analysts think it's going to take over the car buying industry, things like of that nature. I could see car dealerships becoming a thing in the past in time, but that's a different conversation. So that was kind of my thesis going to this trade, and then we kind of saw some volume here. What is this? October 7th. And it kind of got us in the trade, this 51, 52 area. And it just didn't follow through that area at all. We kind of got ticked in towards the high, and then we eventually, we got stopped out. But I've got my plate loaded. I'll just go down what I'm in. Shouts out to Kevin. Big call on this data. Still in this. Called this out at 28. Rocket Mortgage. Oh no, RKT. I'm still in this one. We bought this one off support down here. I'm still in that Fastly with Heaven wherever we bought it down there. Sale has been the huge winner. We bought this one right here. So you can tell I'm just trying to sit with what I got, and I'm almost limiting screen time so that I'm not I'm not too overzealous about getting into new positions because I have so much going on, and I'm pretty, if the market pulled back right now, it shouldn't be a big surprise to anyone. And then there's Billy, and there's Unity Software from down here. What else we got? Novavax, shout out Joe, he called this out. We got this day, we're getting some follow through here. This INSM, I'm still in from this 34. Yeah, I think and then Pinterest I still got a decent chunk of Pinterest from down here, this 38 area. So you can tell I got a lot of shit going on, and but I'm trying to stay in these things. I'm trying to maximize my profit, but also lighting the load on the way up, trying to like balance that little, that little formula we always try to balance. But other than that, business as usual. What do you think? What are you doing over there?
All right, so if you want, Shake, you can start with SFIX. We'll just scroll through a couple of the trades really quick.
Good.
All right, so first one's SFIX. It's actually, this trade failed. We were looking to buy this up through 30. Broke out first day, moved about 6% in our favor. I moved this out to break even, and it did take me out. It's still, it's at like 32 today, so it's still up higher. This is a break-even trade. We get shaken out in trades all the time. So, I'm tired, but I'm not losing sleep over this one. Another one was this QRVO. Again, very similar. We're buying these breakouts through highs. Bought this up through 136. Didn't really get the follow through that we were looking. It did go $4 in our favor, but again, same story. Break even stop. Didn't take any profits off into the pop, but did not lose. Lost 0.25%. Going into some of the winners last week, we have this Hasbro. Me and Mo took this very tight little bull flag up through 85. Got a solid little 3-day move, and this I was just trailing it versus the low a day, and got stopped out, and it's pulling back in now. That was a simple little swing. We have this LOW, again blue sky breakout. Got in this through 170, and have just been trailing it. So now the stop is under 172, and we'll see where this one wants to go. And then one of the better ones this past week was this ANET. This was a support buyback. Bought it up through, it was like 212, caught that gap the next day. Now it's just been holding in this gap. And the next area is this like 230 area. If it can break through that, then it's up to 240. And then it continues to battle back to that retest of those prior highs. So this was one of the better trades so far this week. Still in it. And lastly, we have this PG. Again, another blue sky breakout. We saw that 140 flag an all-time high, so we bought through that, and we've just been now trailing it. Not for you guys watching. I think this would be a good question for you guys to try to answer. If you're in this trade, would you have a low day stop, or would you leave it at break even? And we'll see the next week of who answered and who did it better. And then actually we got one more. Was this QLYS? Another support buyback. Bought this up through 100. And then got some nice follow through these last 2 days as it kind of gets out of the support area. The original stop was verse 96. Now it's break even versus 100, and the goal is to try to kind of hold this up into the 120 area to get back in the upper area of resistance. Nice. So those were some of the trades this past week. Again, the main premise was a lot of these breakouts and support buybacks. The ones that failed, they still initially worked in our favor, but we didn't lose much. And the ones that are working, we're just kind of limiting the downside and squeeze as much as we can out of them.
Very nice.
All right, so with that, Jake, you want to get into the top ideas of the week?
Yeah, I mean, all I got left is this CELH, this Celsius Holdings. I jumped in this today. This started coming through with volume when I was watching it midday around the support area. Maybe I'll add through 23 now. He's going on Kramer later. This company's like this energy drink, this new energy drink for gyms and stuff that's like healthy and all that, blah, blah, blah. But here's the thing about their sales growth is during the pandemic, when things were shutting down, they were still having a huge customer base, and they actually beat their sales growth and accelerated their sales growth, even when gyms were closed, which is where they previously did a majority of their business. So they have a very loyal customer base. Their sales are through the roof. So that's why we're seeing this very wide bull flag up at highs here. But I think if this one gets going through 23, 24, it should be pretty good. And we got the CEO on Kramer tonight. Going to get that Kramer pump. So I like this one.
All right. So the two I'm looking at, one is this CarMax. We can see this little support buyback up through 95, and then looking to add again further through 100. Again, Carvana, a lot of these car dealership space have been somewhat in play recently, so I'm looking to buy up through there, and also this Shake Shack through 72. It did kind of trigger today. I'm already in it, but I do think this this move up to 72, 73 has been a pretty significant area of resistance. So we'll see if this can kind of finally push up and get back into the hundreds in some time.
You ready? I got the best tip anyone's ever had. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Shake Shack breakfast. It's so good.
Oh,
no
they
one
actually have
knows
it?
about it. Yeah, it's so good. They don't open till 11 though. It doesn't make any sense. I don't question logistics usually, but you can get it at like Grand Central and stuff like 8, 9, 10 a.m. Their egg sandwiches are fire. Trust me.
Gonna have to try it out. So there's one by me. I'm gonna go try it tomorrow and see if they're open.
Oh hell yeah! Seriously.
All right, so we covered basically everything. Last thing, we got book of the week.
All right, I'll start. We can't switch cameras because I'm a F up, but here you go. Mine is it's called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits 2.0, Scaling Up. It's by a guy named Vern Harnish, how a few companies make it and why the rest don't. And what he kind of does here is he breaks down companies into their people, their strategy, their execution, and then their cash levels and how to scale up each and kind of maximize the utility of each. So this one seems like it's really good. It has a bunch of people bigging it up and all that. So scaling up. Just getting into this one.
Nice. I got a $300 book, Markets,
Nice.
Markets, Mobs, and Mayhems. Shout out to Tom Van Meter for sending me this because I would have never spent $300 on it. But it was a really good book. There was a couple good lines. They go through a lot of the bubbles, Tulip Mania, dot-com bubble. They go through a lot of the panics in the market, as well as they go through some flu stuff as well. A couple good lines. There was one: anyone taken as an individual is tolerably sensible and reasonable. As a member of a crowd, he once becomes a blockhead, and we see that all the time with people chasing the.
Wait, say it again. Say it again. I couldn't hear it.
Anyone taken as an individual is tolerable, sensible, and reasonable. As a member of a crowd, he once becomes a blockhead. So it's you're the smart guy, but then he buys Tesla at 500 because they split, because everyone else is doing it. So a lot
that doesn't even just pertain to stocks. That's just crowds in general.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And
That's what I'm saying.
crowd on each side, and they get pretty rambunctious.
Yeah. So that was like the latter part of the book. They kind of go into some of the political stuff, where the beginning was more about the market. So yeah, good book. We're gonna be sending this one out to Gina. She was the next one to call dibs on this. I'll be mailing this out to her tomorrow, and then hopefully we'll keep passing this book around through the alpha chat, so we don't have to all waste $300 on it.
Nice. Just me.
So I think that wraps it up for this week.
All right, good stuff.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you later.